Добрый день, друзья! Сегодня мы записываем специальное интервью для всех клиентов Онлайн Академии английского языка. И сегодня у нас в гостях легенда мирового бизнеса Брайан Трейси. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Tanya.
Thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. We are doing this interview for all the clients of our Online Academy of English. And this is all successful people, mostly business people, who'd like to expand their horizons, expand their business, and they need this skill of English. So I know you speak several languages. So my question is, what was the reason why you decided to learn them, and what was the most successful actions in mastering them?
Well, the first language that I studied intensely was French, because I was going to France and then I was going to Africa. And I did not realize until later that my knowledge of the French language changed my entire experience of Africa. And it probably saved my life 2 or 3 times. So when you learn a language, and at that time French was the most popular language, when you learn a language like English, it opens up the whole world for you. You can go anywhere and you can do hundreds or thousands of things that you could never have done without that language skill.
Wow, thank you very much. That's an impressive experience, I see. So English language is now an international language. It's not a foreign language anymore. So what would you say, what benefits would Russian people get if they spoke English?
Well, I always say, how many hours will it take to acquire a skill, like the skill of English? And what will be my return on this skill? So a very simple example for me was when I went to Germany for the first time to speak with translation. They said that if you could speak German, we could create $1 million business for you here in Germany because people like your ideas. So I sat down and I began to learn German, and now I speak almost fluent German. I can do seminars in German, and it was worth more than $2 million to me. So that was my investment. How many hours and how much would I earn over the years? It's the same thing with Russian, is that if you can speak Russian, the whole world is open for you. Instead of only being able to sell and develop your business in Russia, you can now develop your business in every country in the world. Because, and I have spoken in 80 countries, and I've traveled in 120 countries. In every country, English is the key language. It's the key language in the airports, it's the key language for business, it's the key language in hotels, so that if you can speak English, every door in the world is open for you. And fortunately, English is one of the easiest languages of all to learn. With just a few words of English, you can go anywhere. I have been studying Russian for a long time, and you can have a large vocabulary in Russia and not be able to get a taxi to go to the airport because the language is so complicated. But English is so simple that you can learn a little and be using it immediately, especially with the way that you teach it.
Well, thank you very much. I agree with you totally. English is one of the most easy language in the world,
Yes.
and it's very easy to learn, and it gives you an opportunity to, travel internationally and be part of international community. That's what our clients really want.
Yes.
Good. And you also teach one thing, that all people have one skill, which if undeveloped, can hold them back. So basically, business people can look at learning English as acquiring this skill,
Yes.
right? And to really, look at the time they invest as an investment. Do I get you right?
Yes, you always look upon your time as an adult as an investment, hour by hour. How much return can you earn? Now, at the beginning, your return on investment will be very low. But when you begin to be able to do business in other countries, your return can be unbelievable. And I meet so many people who are very successful in Russia, but they cannot go outside of Russia because they can't speak the language. So it's like it opens the doors to all possibilities. And sometimes you ask this question, what one skill, if I were to develop it, would help me the most to increase my business? And in many cases, the answer is English. And the other question we ask is, what one skill could be holding you back more than any other skill? And often the answer is a knowledge of English.
I agree with you totally. So when you also say about developing skills, you say that a person needs a plan how the skill will be developed.
Yeah.
What we suggest for our clients is to really plan a trip abroad. Let's say we are organizing a trip to United States.
That's the goal.
Exactly, and that's the goal. So do you think it's a good idea if a person starts from scratch, he already planning this trip, so
Yes.
he knows what he is working on?
Yes, of course. And the reason is because everyone watching this is very busy. And if they don't have a specific target or goal, a time, then they will become busy doing many other things. But if they have a specific goal, then they will be more focused on learning English faster. Many companies, many people in the US, for example, are sent to China, or they're sent to Russia, or they're sent to another country. And they have to learn to be able to speak that language within 6 weeks. And they put them through intensive programs because they are moving. Their house, their family, everything is moving. They cannot delay or procrastinate. So when you schedule a trip abroad for someone who speaks only Russian, then they have a target. Most successful people love a goal. They love to work toward a goal. So this system is very powerful.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know, Brian, you travel a lot, but your home is California. And we are organizing the tours mostly to California.
Yes.
So what places would you recommend for business people to visit? Maybe some successful companies, offices, or some places they would, be interested at?
Well, I've worked with Russian companies who do this. And one of the places they like to go is Silicon Valley to meet with some of the fast-growing companies and to meet with some of the investors. But for enjoyment, you would want to go to Los Angeles and you would want to go to Disneyland. You would want to go to San Francisco because San Francisco is a beautiful place to go. You would want to go to the vineyards outside of San Francisco because they're some of the best wines in the world. And the wonderful thing is that if you're focusing on these things, you are learning the language at a rapid rate.
Yes, thank you very much. That's the plan.
Yes.
To make the learning experience for adults very interesting.
Yes.
And to combine intensive business courses,
Yes.
like for 1 or 2 weeks, with some interesting business tours to Silicon Valley and to Hollywood and to CLA as well.
Yes.
Thank you. And Brian, one of the last questions. So what tendencies internationally should business people be aware of? Like what they should be keeping track of, and how can English help them with that?
Well, the most important thing is customer taste, customer desire. All successful business comes from selling your product to someone. And customer tastes are changing rapidly. And sometimes you can see a change in the market in US or England or Japan, and you can bring it back to Russia and be the first person. They call this the first mover. You can be the first person to bring this idea to Russia, and you can make a fortune. And because it's already successful somewhere else. It is amazing how many people have become successful just finding an idea that's already working and then bringing it to their country. So that's another thing that you may see. And California has more ideas and more different businesses than perhaps any other single state in the United States.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning this. I think for our clients this will be even more interesting now, because that would benefit their business much, much more.
Yes.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much. I think this information will be very valuable for our clients. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.